Createspace! What are you gonna do, eh? I mean, for those of you that keep track of my publishing doings and my crafting and all that kind of fun stuff, you'll know that I've been having a problem with publishing through Createspace because I was trying to get book one out with them, and they couldn't even agree on their requirements, and I had to file a complaint with BBB. Well, the complaint went through, and I was contacted by the executive service representative. So indeed, they do have supervisors that I could have talked to. And his name is, his name is George. He was really, really nice, polite. I had to explain some things to him, and and then I remade the book from scratch. There was one page I didn't like, and so I sat down and I did the numbers, figured out my safe area, made sure with this latest version there was absolutely nothing going to go wrong, uploaded it. It looked perfect to my eyes. Createspace carefully went through the file page per page, took them 2 days, and rejected it again. Now, I'm not upset this time because I was treated with respect. I was listened to as an author, and they're not used to publishing comics. We actually discussed that and how it was a new thing. So I was basically a groundbreaker here by trying to upload a comic with them. I was, a first, which that has been my experience with the Heavenly Bride. When I first started doing Smashwords, I was one of the first, if not the first, and same, and I've learned a lot along the way on how to improve, and I do a lot of things with my comics that I noticed other people don't do, because I've learned some things, and so I was a pioneer that didn't make it. The Indians surrounded my little covered wagon and said, well, you're not our tribe, so they, carted me off. But the thing is, I could keep fighting it, and they gave me this Excel sheet right here, showing me what, why they were rejecting it, which was very nice of them. They didn't have to do that, and I really greatly appreciate that. And I got to page 34 and stopped. At this time with Createspace, because of their inexperience and need for quote-unquote quality, which in my experience with self-publishing, these people that help you self-publish, they scream quality while restricting the author to the point that you can barely move sometimes and do things, and a lot of really interesting things that could be done with books is stifled to death because of quote-unquote quality. Which I understand there are people out there that don't know what they're doing and they put out ugly books, and I understand that, but in this case, I'm the one with the experience. I really wish I had been listened to, especially considering the book. But anyway, don't get me on that. But you can see here it says dragon tail on left and dragon head on right, page 34, not extending to outside bleed and gutter, leaving a gap on each side. And I think they're talking about that page. I don't think it is, but this is an example of one such page. It was back when I was first learning how to really format a page comic, and I was just doing sizes because the sizes I wanted weren't even available back then, and so I was just drawing pages on the paper I got, and I would get a little out of control with my art, and the dragon went too far, things like that, and it's just, when I uploaded the book, I knew what I wanted, and this particular page, I'll see if I can find it for you so I can see what I'm talking about. Book one. We will actually open up the PDF, I think, for page 34, so I can see which one they're talking about. Okay. Here we go, guys. Going to page 34. Oh, it's that one. There's nothing I can do about this. The words were in the safe area, and it was sized, and the words were barely where they needed to be, and they're telling me to shrink the page, which I've seen, and I've researched by looking at other comics, public, big time comics coming from big publishers, and sometimes there's a border and there's an edge, especially with manga coming out of Japan. So when I did this page and I did the borders the way it was done knowing that there might be a gap, and it was the best I could do. So unfortunately, when it comes to me, let's see. That was page 34, right? And then this one, not extending to outside of bleed and gutter. This is the one that I had it how I wanted, and there's nothing I could do. So, unfortunately for me, being the pioneer at Createspace is just not going to work. I am tired of fighting these guys over this. I am tired of fighting to have my comic look how I want it to. So let this be a warning to anyone else that feels like they need to break ground at Createspace. The best way for you to publish to Createspace is to have a page like this where everything's going to be in the safe area. You can't be artistic and have stuff extending to the sides. It's going to confuse them. They're not going to understand it. Or if you do, you're going to want it to be like this, where things get cut off. You cannot have an in-between page, which is very common in comics, and I'm sorry to have to say that this isn't going to work out at this time. I don't know. I didn't know I was one of the first or the first that had brought their attention to it. It would have been cool if I had been the first. So I guess I'm just a shot down moonshot, but just a headshot. But at least they were very respecting. Now I guess my next step will be to look at Ingram Sparks and to take a shot at Ingram Sparks, because I don't know if we can afford Ingram Sparks. I would hold a fundraiser for the matter, but in my experience, fundraisers, the only successful fundraiser I've ever had was for the Page of Cups that my husband had written a 2-page paper on, and I had fleshed out into a full-fledged book. And the only reason why it, and with it, I said that I edited for him. The truth is, I wrote it, and that was successful. I don't know if there's a stigma on my name or I'm just unlucky or what, but what are you going to do? Except carry forward and see if I can go through Ingram, who doesn't have those requirements. They just want you to get the book together right. I know this from experience because the Lightning Source publisher is who prints through my main comic distributor, which is Drive Through Comics. You can find them easily online. That's Drive Through, THRU. And I guess that's it. Kind of a sad update, but again, Createspace. What you gonna do?